Good morning everyone, this is Umair Hamid and welcome to my channel. So today I am going to share 5 things that you need to know before moving here in Sweden. The number one thing that you need to know before moving here is how the Swedish weather is. I will say the whole Scandinavian weather look like the same. So basically we have 4 weathers normally everywhere, but the duration of these weathers are different. For example, let's start from winters. So winters normally start in mid of October or end of October, and they prolong till I think first or second week of April. Maybe sometime it leads to May as well, because we used to have snow in May as well. That happened this year actually. So winters are very long, and for example, I live in a little bit south part of Sweden, and it's a little bit lower than the upper parts where they have like minus 35, minus 36 or something. But here we have comparatively like minus 17 or minus 20 something temperature, which is the maximum temperature that we get here in the city where I am living here in Jönköping. So it's pretty cold, it's pretty harsh, and one thing which is very noticeable is in November and December, the days are quite small. The sunlight is the sunrise is around 8:30 in the morning, and the sun set is around 3 p.m. or something, 3:30 p.m. or something. So that's the thing, and it's quite depressive here because you don't see much sunlight. There are not many people, and you see it's all dark here. So that's one thing. But in summers it's the opposite. We have darkness, or not complete darkness for the whole day. We have like complete darkness for maybe 2.5 hours from the period of like June till July something. They have the longest days. We have light almost like 20 or 22 hours. So those are the pretty long days. Like you have sun all the time. So summers are amazingly awesome. It's so green, the water is so blue, it's so beautiful everywhere. And the problem is the time of summer is very small, like maybe 2 or maximum 3 months, and sometimes you have like very less sunny days and less sunny summer days, and you have all the time raining, and that's pretty, that sucks. So when the springs arrive, it have a very short period of time, probably for 2 to 3 weeks. That's all about it. And then we have summers directly. And last year when the spring arrived, it was very small. It was like maybe for 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and then directly it was summers, and that's really good. And last year in 2018 we have the longest summer. It was really amazing summer we have here, and that caused a lot of wildfire as well here in Sweden. So that's one thing. And then we talk about autumn. Autumns came around like in the end of August. Yeah, almost like 15th of August or something like that. And after that autumn starts to begin, and the real autumn begins at the end of September. And when it's the time like you see the dramatic leaves are falling or something like that. So that's really charismatic, and you have this romantic feeling about that. So that's one thing. These are the Swedish weather that you really need to know before moving here in Sweden, especially the winters, because in winters you feel really depressed because of those less sunlight, and it's snowing, and it's cold, and it's harsh temperature, and you don't see sun much. So that's what you need to know about before moving here in Sweden. The second thing is, which I want to talk about, is very surprising for me, as I came from Pakistan, where we have very less where we use credit cards or debit cards in shops and markets. But here it's total opposite. Like you always use, it's a cashless kind of economy, where there are few places where you cannot even get anything on cash. Like if you have a cash, you cannot buy anything. You have to have a card for that. So if you come to Sweden, remember that you can buy anything anywhere with your card. You don't need to carry cash for that, and it's safe as well. For example, me, I don't think so that I have ever cash in my wallet, because I always keep my cards with me and I never needed cash except if I have to. The third thing that is really important, and you really have to respect that, because Swedes love those things, which are queues, lines. I mean, really, they are really strict and they really love to be in the lines. They respect the line system, and they like they're really into it. For example, there are several cafes where you have to be in the line to give your order or something. Swedes are very disciplined about the line system, the queue system. Either it's like a public office, or it's a cafe, or if it's like a parking or whatever, they are really take it seriously. So respect the line systems. So let's talk about the fourth thing, which is time. I mean, in schools, in meetings, in transport, you have to really think about or really take care of the timing. For example, if you have a meeting at 9 o'clock, you really have to be at 9 o'clock there. Otherwise, the other person take it rude, like this is rude that you don't come on time for a specific meeting or for an appointment that you have, and they will maybe wait for 5 or 10 minutes, and if you're late, doesn't matter the reasons are, exceptions are always there, but still, if you're late, it will count as like rude, and you are not serious for that cause or whatever your appointment is. So you really need to think about before making an appointment that you really need to be on that time, and as per that you have to make your travel plans. So before moving here, you really need to know that Swedes are really careful about timing, and they're really punctual in timing. And the fifth and the last thing that I want to talk about is a little bit social, have some social influence. For example, here in Sweden, the Swedish people, or as I say, Swedes, really like to be in their own space. They like to be in their private space, and they don't like to be like disturbed or something like that. You cannot say like, you just cannot go like, hey, how are you doing? How is your day to any stranger here? Because they are in their own space. They need like some time to get to know you. For example, I am living in my apartment from like 2 years, but I don't know what's the name of my neighbor. Honestly, we just say hey. That's normally what we do, and other than that, we don't know what they do, where they're from, or anything. You really need to like talk to them, and the best way is when they're drunk. Then you really know them. Then they really open up. Other than that, they are really shy people. They really like to be in their own bubble. So try not to bother them until unless it's really necessary. But on the other hand, they're really helping. If you need a help in certain matter, for example, if you're lost or something and you need to ask, they will help you. And if you don't speak Swedish and you speak English, and they don't speak well English, but they will try to help you by any means. So that's a good part. So the key to open up with people is like to take your time, to take a step back, to go it slowly. To make some friends. It's very hard to make friends. I have few friends, they might be looking at my video, but it is really hard to make friends, to make really good friends. But when you are friends with them, then you have a really strong bonding with them. That's a good part. But it takes time, and after that it's like icebreaker. If you break the ice, then they are like you, they are normal people, but they really need to know before they like to be in some kind of a friendship or some kind of a relation. They really need to know you before that. So that's about it. I hope you find my video a little bit informative and you get benefit from that if you are moving to Sweden. And I will keep on coming with different topics. Give a thumbs up if you like it, subscribe if you didn't already, and I will see you soon. Till then, Umair Hamid signing off. Bye.